Hello, my name is Gauri Sharma. I'm the Vice President of Professional Certifications at the American Bankers Association, here today in conversation with Alfred White, Sales Director of Banking at OvationCXM. Al and I will spend a few minutes today talking about customer experience management technology infused with AI. So welcome, Alfred.
Thank you, Gauri. So great to be with you.
Thank you. Great to be with you as well. Let's get started, Alfred. Tell us what some business symptoms are of a customer experience or CX problem.
Sure. So many financial institutions that I talk to every day, especially in this current economic environment, they've got a number of business metrics or KPIs that are not performing at the level that they would like. Customer retention is so visible at all times, and it's a business priority no matter what business line you're in. But now in an economy where institutions need to hold on to deposit dollars and make customers more sticky, have high levels of attrition, or just as bad, abandonment during onboarding so they don't even use the product once before leaving, are serious problems for these financial institutions. Another symptom that could point to a customer experience or CX problem is onboarding, which takes much longer than desired. Maybe it takes 90 days for a client to go live with a payment or treasury management product, which really it should only take maybe 14 days. So then you have, some of the common symptoms that indicate that there are problems somewhere in the customer journey. NPS scores are low or are dropping. Call volumes are high, and it takes multiple contacts to multiple individuals within the institution to solve the problem for the customer. So we actually did our own research into customer experience of business banking customers, which is a coveted segment for most banks. And what we learned was 76% of businesses had quit right in the middle of onboarding. They gave a few reasons why onboarding was so frustrating, that there were too many organizations or people involved in the journey, which was the top frustration they had, actually chosen 2x more than any other reason. Second, most cited reasons centered around knowledge and difficulty in obtaining information during the onboarding process. Some cited instructions were confusing. Some said they couldn't find instructions. Others tried to reach out to their account team and came away feeling as if they did not have any indication around knowledge around the product or service well enough to help them. And this is a big frustration. So they told us they would give their banks 48 hours tops to solve their issue, or they would walk away and find another institution to do business with. So while these KPIs seem like the real problem, they're actually just a symptom of the problem. And if you believe what these customers told us around their business banking experiences, it's a very frustrating experience.
I can imagine, especially as you talk about the number of people involved in the project. So related to that, why do you think is it important to empower business line leaders to build and guide these customer journeys versus IT or core providers?
There's a few reasons. One, business line leaders know their customers best. They're most sensitive to the changes in their expectations, the market conditions like rate changes or emerging competitive offerings. They're closest to the feedback from customers and deeply ingrained in sales and onboarding journeys. And they can experience firsthand when a customer actually reaches out with any confusion or frustration. And they essentially are the eyes and ears of the organization. So it would only make sense that they should have the tools in their hand to make adjustment to journey steps as they discover friction or frustration and be able to make those changes in real time before customers leave or abandon that particular journey. The second reason I would say is timing. For community and regional banks that heavily rely on their core for functionality, making changes to journeys and the related internal workflows that align with those journeys can be an extremely long process to get into their queue. Those customizations can also affect other processes downstream, which can make it more complicated. So by the time the changes are implemented to the journey flow, the use case could be obsolete or have already changed again since technology and customer expectations are evolving so fast. Also, expense. Many changes to hard-coded monolithic systems can be expensive. There's the cost to the core provider and other vendor charges for coding and project management. But there's also the cost of the internal staff that needs to manage the core relationship and project on the bank side while also trying to figure out how to do their day-to-day job. For instance, an operations team. They might have their normal list of to-dos, but then take on the change to a journey with a Fiserv or an FIS as a special project, and that adds to their plate. Or it might fall to IT, and we know that IT is being tasked with doing more with less on an everyday basis. That leads to the fourth reason, which is pressure on internal resources. For instance, IT is responsible for keeping the lights on, but also helping business lines meet goals, keep up with innovation, ensuring security, data management, regulatory requirements, and compliance issues are all addressed, all while maintaining their budget amid staffing challenges, and of course, prioritizing all of this while they have, with the time that they have each and every day. So these four reasons basically can be boiled down to a single comment. Banks need to be agile, and they need to move in tandem with customer expectations, emerging technologies, and market and competitive conditions if they want to thrive. And that means that the technology to power those customer experiences has to be agile too, knowing that the core is probably not going to change and the systems of record are what they are, but can an agile, lightweight technology come in and get plugged in to offer that customer experience agility that's lacking in the other platforms?
That certainly makes a lot of sense, Alfred. I'm going to press forward by asking you for an example. So can you share an example of a customer journey that you've seen fraught with friction and how CX management technology can solve for it?
Every financial institution that we engage with has identified a number of customer journeys that have metrics that are underperforming. Again, whether it be high abandonment rates, longer than desired onboarding, not utilizing a product after activation, high operational costs, or, poor customer satisfaction scores. Actually, the list can be quite long. One journey that always comes to the top during our journey mapping sessions is the onboarding journey. Once the customer says yes, they typically have to onboard in some type of capacity. And in banking specifically, that can require a number of steps and in many places with friction that may go undetected. So typically there are numerous departments involved in the onboarding process, and they may be on different platforms with data in different formats, and it's not aggregated whatsoever. It can feel to the customer as if they're talking with different organizations who are not connected as they progress through the journey. Add to that multiple products or services such as merchant services or treasury management, common themes that we see that require participation from outside partners or vendors for software or hardware or approvals or agreements. So once the customer begins to interact with one of those parties, the bank typically loses visibility into the journey's progress. Then if there's an obstacle and the customer becomes stalled or upset, the bank is caught unaware. So that results in a call back to the bank, which then has to use some type of manual process, long email threads, multiple phone calls to the partner to try to get caught up on the problem so they can help solve it for their customer. Because at the end of the day, even though it's their customer, they share the customer experience with those other providers like their core or third parties that they don't have enough visibility or collaboration with today. So CX management software has emerged to fill a gap that exists in technology today. Our platform CXM engine is an all-in-one solution that puts journey building tools into the hands of business lines versus IT or the core. It's drag and drop, so a no-code platform that plugs into legacy systems through APIs to open up data sharing back and forth. This allows all of the departments and teams that help the customer throughout that journey to be on the same page, seeing one unified view of that customer. This unified view allows them to see right away what's been happening with the customer all along the way, where they may need added support, and help to guide them through the journey, even, through parts of the journey that are fulfilled by other, by various departments, partners, or the core provider. In addition, CX management, the way that we do it, also offers conversational AI that includes a drag and drop bot builder and AI powered knowledge delivery in the same single screen that you're working on. And both leverage large language models like ChatGPT and others to recognize a wider context of questions and concerns and more fully, and then deliver those answers to both internal teams and whoever might additionally needs to support those customers across those different products with many different details, and create an end-to-end user customer experience that almost looks self-serving in greater numbers. But to note, soon we will also apply our generative AI functionality to also summarize cases, customers, and entire journeys from volumes of past history, turn it into a concise summary of sorts that's much faster for teams to read and understand their customers' past interactions and be prepared for where they are now and where they need to go in the future. So leveraging AI to more proactively and intuitively deliver the right knowledge to the right person at the right time is a game changer and will make internal teams work more efficiently, and eventually the same ease of conversing with the bank via chat or by sourcing help, on their own, it will be much faster, much smarter, and much more satisfying to the customer. And I might add, to the employee and their internal experience as well. And finally, I'll just say CX management, at least the way that we do it at OvationCXM, is about being lightweight and easy to implement. Banks today already have enough technical debt to maintain with the legacy systems that they've got. So there's no choice there. There's no budging. But we believe CX management has to be a nimble technology that plugs in without a need for custom code or IT resources. And we can connect with plugins to many of the most popular platforms, including pre-built connectors to your Fiserv, Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, and many, many others.
Well, thank you, Albert. That's certainly a wealth of information. I know you've generated a lot of insights, and I'm sure our listeners may have follow-up questions just listening to what you've just shared. So for the benefit of our listeners, how can they contact you or get in touch with you for follow-up questions?
Yeah, sure, Gary, absolutely. So very easily, just by going to our website, www.OvationCXM.com. And I personally can be reached at any time via my work email, which is Alfred, ALFRED.White, like the color, at OvationCXM.com.
Well, thank you, Alfred, for taking the time to speak to us today. We're now coming to the end of our podcast. I appreciate you joining us today. Have a great day.
You too. It's been a pleasure.